Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Asparagus. This is my YouTube channel, Asparagus Reading, where I talk about books and sometimes other things. And today I'm gonna be doing a book tag. Honestly, do people still do book tags? Because I feel like I don't really see them very often anymore. The one I'm doing today is finish the book tag, which I think is gonna go into what happens when you finish a book. So like your rating system, how you review, maybe how you annotate, things like that. All right, so let's try to get through these quickly because it's short tag, no reason to be dilly-dallying, talking too long, so let's just get right into it. Question number one is, do you keep a list or some kind of record of all the books you have read? And the answer to that is yes. I actually use multiple things to record what I have read and what I'm currently reading. The main one I have is like Storygraph, my Storygraph account, which is basically a reading tracker website, very similar to Goodreads. However, I do prefer Storygraph over Goodreads. Goodreads has a couple features that Storygraph doesn't have, and then Storygraph has a couple features that Goodreads doesn't have. So sometimes I do have to like bounce back and forth. I do track majority of my reviews and things on Storygraph. However, I do try to transfer some of that to Goodreads. Yes, I do have something. I also use my bullet journal. I have a bullet journal that I post monthly, sometimes bi-monthly videos on, where I will kind of track my reading. For the most part, I'll just do like my TBR, the things I want to read, not so much of my wrap up, just because a lot of times I don't read my TBR. I tend to stray away from it. Second question is, if you record any stats, what do you record and how? I don't. I actually used to for like a year or two. I had a spreadsheet that was created by Ali from Hardback Quarter. I no longer do that because I found that to be time consuming. It's like I can be very busy throughout the year. Like I can have 2 months of like absolutely nothing. And like I have 4 straight months of being out of the house all day, every single day. And so if I am not consistent in updating that spreadsheet, and if I read a lot, I would not have to backtrack all those books. So like even though it was really cool to see all the charts and their graphs fill up and see all the information, it just became tedious for me to do. And then once I was doing it, it was just like, ugh. And then I started to like postpone it because I didn't want to do it, which wasn't really good because now I'm adding more books that need to be done. So no, I no longer do that. Storygraph does have a stats feature that is automatically recorded for you as you update your reads. However, I do believe that information is limited. If you want more of those stats, you can do the Plus Premium Pro. What is it? You know how every streaming service, every app has a Plus Premium Pro X level, you know, King Boss level, what you like upgrade to. They have that. I just have the standard account, so I do have some stats. Question number 3, do you give star ratings? If so, how do you score books and what do you score them out of? Yes, I do and I don't. I used to be like very like on top of this a couple years ago. Now I'm a bit more lenient. I normally just do anywhere between 0 and 5 stars. And occasionally I would do 0.5 or 0.75 or 0.25 just because Storygraph has that feature. However, I do not rate a lot of my books anymore just because I tend to feel very differently about the book once time has passed from immediately finishing it. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh, this is a definite 5 star. But then 3 to 6 months later, after some thought, consideration, and discussion with other people, I may want to lower that rating. Or I may have originally given it 3 stars, and I'm like, oh wait, let me increase it. And so I try to give myself time to give star ratings. Now, to be honest, a lot of these books, I do not go back and update the star ratings, but it is what it is. I mean, I just feel like star ratings can feel very limited and don't really encompass the thoughts and feelings that I have towards a book. Even though I know reviews are an option, sometimes I just don't have the time. And so, I don't know. I just feel like giving star ratings can be very complex. I know there's a couple ways to do this. I think there's one, Cawpile, I think, that a lot of people use, which I think is very interesting. However, that, again, I feel like does not do my rating justice. I see how it works and I completely understand it. I've tried it a couple times. I still don't like, sometimes I just feel like it doesn't really match what I feel. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm still working through the process, but as of right now, it's really just kind of like whatever I feel in that moment. And then if it changes, it changes. But usually a 0 star, or if I don't rate it, is because I forgot, didn't want to, or I really didn't like it. So 1 stars are typically books that I feel are really bad in terms of like writing or characters or whatever. It just feels not very good to me. But those tend to feel mean. So I tend to do more 2 stars, where I feel like something was working for the story, but overall, for some reason, I didn't connect. I did not enjoy it, or there was some things about it that was not really good. 3 stars tends to be pretty like okay, average book. Like maybe I did enjoy it, but it wasn't like spectacular. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't something super memorable. But I did enjoy it to an extent. 4 stars is something that a little higher than 3 stars, something I really enjoyed. However, it may not necessarily be a favorite, or there's some aspects about it that I think could have been better or improved, or maybe I didn't like. And 5 stars is something that I just loved all the way around. Maybe I did not pick up on any issues or any concerns that first time around. It's just something I really enjoyed, really resonated with. Maybe something that I read very quickly, fell in love with, really connected with, that kind of thing. And oftentimes, my favorite books can be anywhere between a 4 and a 5 star. It really just depends on like different parts of the book. I don't think favorite books, at least for me, will always be guaranteed 5 star all the way around. I feel like sometimes they might have little things. I do, like I said, I do 0.5, 0.25, 0.75, and that's just because sometimes I may feel like, hey, this is giving me 4-star vibes, but maybe it's just not exactly 4-star. Like maybe it's just almost there, or maybe like 3 stars feels too low for the book, but 4-star feels so high, and so I'll kind of try to put it in the middle there. Question number 4 is, do you review any books? And yes, I do review books, not as often as I'd like to. I'm trying to get back into it. I used to have this thing where like every weekend I'd sit down, pick a couple of books, and just start to review them. I've fallen out of that habit, trying to get back into it. But I do review. I have a system, and so the way I try to review my books is that the first thing is I will thank anyone that has given the book to me. Trigger warning and content warnings, book description, review and thoughts, final thoughts and rating, recommending to who, and then any content that I have created with the book. Now, I'll be honest, I have strayed away from this sometimes just because I might be in a time crunch, or maybe I just don't have something for all these categories. So that's kind of what I try to do, but like I said, I do stray away from this. Question number 5, where do you put your finished books? It really depends. So if I am reading a physical book that I own, they will go back on either this shelf or this shelf. Those are the 2 shelves that I currently have. And for this shelf, these are all like all-time favorites, things that I want to see. So they're displayed that way, with the spines out in rainbow order. And then the ones with the covers out are like ones that really stood out. I will probably be changing this in a couple of months to display some other ones, because not everything I loved could fit. But if I really enjoyed them, I'll try to stick them up there. If not, they'll go on my main shelf, and they will, if I read them, they'll face this way. So like when you come up to the shelf, you see this instead of the spine. That's because I prefer my shelves to be read and unread, so I can see how much is read and how much is unread. And also when I'm looking for a book, all my read books are this way, and I'm like, okay, let me grab that and read it. Yeah, so typically just put it back on the shelf. However, I'm trying to do this thing where I am considering whether or not I really enjoy the book. I want to keep books that I really enjoyed and really want to read and keep for a while. So if I don't really care much for the book, or don't really see myself rereading it, or if I do want to reread it, but I feel like I just rather just pick it up from the library, I have a storage bin in my closet. I will go ahead and list the book on Pango Books, which is the app where you can sell books. Link down below if you want to check out books I'm selling. And I'll, take a picture of it, post that selling or that listing, and then I'll put it in the storage bin. Now, if it's a library book, I'll return it. If it's a NetGalley or Kindle book, I will probably just delete the downloads that I have the storage, but Kindle will keep track of what books I have. Just because books being downloaded take up storage. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, moving on. Question number 6, how do you pick your next book? I'm a mood reader. It really depends. Like sometimes I'm just really in the mood for a thriller. Sometimes a book just sounds really good and it's just calling my name and I'll pick it up. Sometimes the book is due for review, or I have to mail it out by a certain date, or it's due to the library with the next couple of days, so I'll pick it up. Maybe it's the next book in a series. It really just depends. It's very in that moment, kind of moody kind of thing. I do make TBRs, and I do make plans. I don't always follow them because if I'm not in the mood, I move on. Question number 7. Do you have any rituals for when you have finished a book? I'm not really sure what is considered a ritual when you finish a book. I just put the book where it needs to be in those finished places, mark it as read on Storygraph, and I may or may not review and rate it in that moment. And then I try to pick up my next book. That's my ritual. Sometimes if a book has really hit me in a certain way, or I just feel like a lot just happened to the characters, sometimes I'll take a moment to process and kind of think about what just happened, and I may go online and look up theories and concerns and questions and character information and follow the author and stock information. But for the most part, read, next book. And for the final question 8, who do you want to tag for this tag? Again, I'm not really sure. I don't know if anyone really cares to be tagged. I don't know if anyone really does tags anymore. So I'm gonna do Jordan from Storybook Solid. I think she does tags. If she is tagged, maybe Lisa from With Love Lisa. I don't know. Does anyone do tags anymore? Oh, maybe Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages, or Ava from Ava's Romance Books, or Amanda from Overbooked. Maybe Morgan from Morgan's Chaotic World, Lily from Literary Lily, Katie from Katie's Book Nook, Vanessa from Fairy Mog or the Fairy Wilds, Brittany from Brittany and Books, Jess from Books Past Bedtime. That's about all I got, because I don't know who does tags and I want to tag some friends. So if you see this and you're not tagged, please do it. And if you are tagged, could you do it? Who does tags anymore, to be honest? This video is originally from... Actually, I don't think the original video is listed anymore, now that I think about it. I'm gonna check the description of previous videos. I will link the video that I saw of this tag down below, since the original is no longer listed. There we go. English. And with that being said, I think that's all that I have for you today. For an emoji, since you've made it this far, drop a star emoji down below for star ratings. Have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is where you are, and I'll see you in the next one.